All right, welcome to the first TESPN broadcast of 2023. I'm Rick Hamlin, joined here by Ryan Lloyd and Ben Schneider for the first Prep League regular season game this year. Titans of Trinity Episcopal come in at 7-3. Blue Devils of Fork Union at 3-2, and the Blue Devils haven't played since I think December 17th, so they've been off for a while. Obviously, being a boarding school, these guys were home, and it looks like from their roster, most of their guys are from Virginia, several from the Richmond area, and then they've also got Virginia Beach, Vienna, Virginia, up in Northern Virginia, West Virginia, and Rwanda, which is very much not in Virginia. So that's Fork Union. Titans come in 7-3, like we said, first Prep League game of the year. And Ryan, what are you expecting to see here tonight?
I think while FUMA also has a winning record at 3-2, I think they've played some easier teams than perhaps would say. I think most people expect a Trinity win here tonight, and partially I think that's why there's no students in the section. But I think as long as the Titans don't get overconfident, keep their head down, and play their game, they should be all right.
Yeah, I think you mentioned we've had really good student support so far this year. Not much of a student crowd tonight, but I think that's a reflection of a few things. I mean, number one, it's the last week of the semester, so a lot of academic work. Tuesday night, while Fork Union is a big Prep League game, it's not necessarily one of your top three rivals if you're a Titan fan. And tomorrow you've got Benedictine and Friday St. Christopher's, which probably are your top two rivals. So if you're a Titan basketball fan, maybe saving it up to check out games later this week. Although if you want to check out this game and you're not able to make it, we got you covered.
We are
with
here.
our TESPN stream. So opening tap is controlled by the Titans. Mason Patrick missed the layup. Devion Brown got the rebound but also missed the layup, and the Blue Devils will bring it across with their first offensive possession. First Prep League game of the year, and remind me, Ryan, when we get to a timeout, I just want to talk a little bit about league play and kind of what to expect this year. Three-pointer is long on that attempt by Isaac Rivera, and the Titans secured the rebound. Defensive rebound, always a big key. And Fork Union playing looks like some of the guys thought they were in zone, but I think they are in a man-to-man, and now they've got it straight. Luke Fisher with a good look from the left wing, nails the three-pointer. The senior, Luke Fisher, draws first blood, opening the scoring.
Looks like Titans are also in a man coverage.
Yeah, and Devion Brown challenges that three. That time they don't get the offensive rebound, but a good block by Mason Patrick. And Titans looking to try and run a little bit. Alex Chaikin, deep three is long, and a nice rebound secured by Draylon Creasy. And a strong take there by Jordan Anderson, the senior from Palmyra, Virginia. We see on the Blue Devils roster several guys from Palmyra, which is basically right where Fork Union is. So those are kind of local guys for them. That foul was against Alex Chaikin, his first team foul.
First total of the game.
And first free throw no good by Jordan Anderson. Anderson makes the second to cut it to 3-1, and it'll be Luke Fisher bringing it across the timeline. And again, Fork Union looks like they're in a zone, but it's kind of a hybrid matchup, and they don't find Fisher, who gets an open three, but this one's long, and now the Devils will look to run it. Mason Patrick got his hand in for the steal. Good pass ahead. Coleman to Fisher. And Devion Fat Rat Brown with the and one. It was really good passing. Really, from the time Mason Patrick tipped it on the defensive end into the hands of Coleman to Fisher to Devion Brown, 4 of the 5 Titans contributing to that bucket.
Credit to Davion. Certainly delayed the shot, I think, enough to grab a foul, and it paid off.
Yeah, that was good patience by him as he completes the three-point play. And I love the long pass ahead by Leland Coleman there. The press of the Titans did not look quite ready there, and it was shredded by Tyler Manglikamat, who dished it off to Ashton King for the layup. And definitely a zone on that possession. Luke Fisher hits his second 3 in the first 2.5 minutes or so of play. And that looked like it could have been a charge, but no call by that official under the basket. Coach Blazer didn't like it, and I don't blame him. Thought Leland Coleman did a nice job drawing the charge. So Fork Union for sure is now in a zone. I think the first couple possessions they weren't even sure, but they're in a 2-3, and the Titans attacking it well. Coleman's shot is blocked though. Up at Cape, or I guess it would be down at Cape Henry last week in Virginia Beach. Down and over, I guess, in Cape Henry. The Titans struggled late against the zone. Trinity had a 1-point lead with about 4 minutes left. Cape Henry went to a zone and led to a 10-0 run by the Dolphins and was a key. So it's good to see the Titans looking comfortable attacking the zone, although they didn't score last possession. But they get a stop, 9-6 lead. No subs yet for either team.
And I'm sure you can put a lot of money on the fact that Coach Blazer probably really worked on getting them ready for that zone.
Absolutely. And they do a beautiful job screening the zone. The third three-pointer in the first 3.5 minutes for the Titans. This time it's Alex Chaikin. And then you throw in the and one by Devion Brown, and it's been all increments of 3 points, 4 different times, 3 threes, plus one the old-fashioned way to get the Titans the 12-6 lead. So I'm just going to mention a minute ago at the first time out, I want to talk about the Prep League. So the way the Prep League works it for basketball is basically starting the second Tuesday in January, which is today, all 6 teams are in action. So you have 3 Prep League games every Tuesday and Friday. The league used to have as many as 10 teams, but Christchurch, Blue Ridge, VES, and Norfolk Academy are no longer in the Prep League for basketball, at least. Norfolk Academy plays some sports. So, like tonight, there's 3 games. This one here, Fork Union at Trinity, and then Collegiate is playing Stab, and Woodbury, who's 12-1. Great start for them, is playing St. Christopher's, who I think is 10-2. So that's kind of a marquee matchup here in the early season. And then you'll see, as a nice take there, but a missed layup by Isaac Rivera, pretty much every Tuesday and Friday through mid-February, you'll have 3 Prep League games on every Tuesday and Friday. So it has kind of a nice feel to the schedule. It used to be like it was very piecemeal. Like some teams would start league games in December, some wouldn't until January. I remember one year Collegiate had played 4 Prep League games before we played any, because we were in some tournaments in December, so they played a bunch of league games or whatever. So it's kind of nice that now it's more consistent. And everybody plays each other twice, home and home. And I like the way the Prep League does that.
Yeah.
And then, for the Titans, certainly all the years when I was coaching the basketball team here, to me, the Prep League was our bread and butter. Of course, you want to win states. You want to win your in-season tournaments. You want to beat your rivals like Benedictine. But Prep League regular season championship was always one of our top 2 goals. And the top goal for me was always Prep League tournament. So it's nice to see these guys they've already played, in the case of the Titans, 10 games. FUMA only 5. Stabs played 14 games, but no one has started league play till now. So in that regard, everyone's kind of 0-0.
And you mentioned how much emphasis is put on those Prep League games, and I think you definitely did a good job of that. If you want to look up on the banners, you see multiple Prep League championships for basketball. But the atmosphere for those games, I think at least for Trinity, all of our main rivals are in the Prep League with probably the exception of Benedictine.
Exactly.
So
good take by Luke Fisher there.
those are the most important games. Those are the ones you want to win the most. And it clearly shows in the preparation on both teams and in the fan turnout.
It really does. And one thing about this league is there are great coaches, and a lot of them have been in the league for a long time. So you kind of develop friendly rivalries with those coaches, but there's a lot of respect. And Fork Union, actually, their head coach is not here tonight. So it's just one assistant coach running the show by himself, which is another take by Luke Fisher. He's already in double figures, 10 points in the first 5 minutes for Luke. But Vashon Hubert, assistant coach for Fork Union, is coaching them tonight. Reggie Barnett, who's their head coach, is not here. Don't know why, but if Coach Barnett is watching, hope you're doing well. Early double-digit lead for the Titans, and I was worried they might be flat with a smaller crowd, but Trinity's played well. First sub of the game, Carter Schuma, the senior, coming in for Mason Patrick. Leland Coleman got a piece of that shot, and then it'll go out of bounds to the Titans. And, yeah, you mentioned the banners. I mean, this is a sport in terms of boys basketball. Trinity has the most Prep League championships, I'm proud to say. I believe 16 times we have won the league. And it's going to be tough this year just because Stab is so good. One of the absolute top teams in the state, packed with Division I talent. Mentioned Woodbury, 12-1 so far. St. Chris, 10-2. So it's going to be a tough year in the league for sure. But if you peak at the right time, you know, the tournament is what you're building toward in late February. Good take there by Alex Chaikin, and that's something he's really added to his game. Last year, we pretty much exclusively saw him as a perimeter shooter, but this year he's able to put it on the floor. He's gotten stronger. He's still pretty skinny, but he's definitely bulked up a little in the weight room, and you see him be able to take the contact there and make that first free throw. And one of the officials we have tonight, he is closest to the scorers table. His name's Aaron Lewis. He's actually the head of all officials in the Richmond area, so he's like the guy you go to, and he trains all the other refs. So pretty much from a high school standpoint, he's about, you know, one of, if not the best ref you're going to get. So it's nice. Anytime you see him, you know you're in for just a well-officiated game, which in high school you can't always guarantee, but these guys try their best.
Second sub coming in for the Titans, Trey Ferguson, senior, coming on for Alex Chaikin.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Trey out there. Titans had a rough one at Catholic on Thursday night. Watched that game on the stream, but Trey came in, and the first 2 times he touched the ball, he scored 2 layups. He just came in kind of angry and just took it to the hole and got a couple buckets. So we know he's, of course, going on to play football at the Naval Academy next year. And you could argue Trey Ferguson was a part of maybe one of, if not the most historic play in Trinity athletic history. The two-point conversion walk-off win in the 2021 state championship game. Nice baseline jumper there by the Blue Devils. That was Draylon Creasy to cut the lead back to single digits.
I think both Trey and Fat Rat, as well as Talik, I believe are the 3 players who played football, along with AK.
And one for Fat Rat.
And being able to make that transition from football to basketball, I think those players just naturally are more aggressive. And, you know, it clearly shows with, those 2 especially. And
yeah, Carter Schuma as well played football this year.
That's
and, of course, he's best known for his baseball exploits. But you're right, Ryan, and I think the physicality and toughness that comes with football, but also particularly this year, the confidence. These guys are used to winning.
Yeah.
11-0 this year, 2-time state champions. Going Good three-pointer there by Isaac Rivera to cut it again back to single digits. But I think they add just a winning mentality. And Luke Fisher, 13 points in the first quarter. Our producer, who will also take some duties on the mic here in a few minutes, Ben Schneider, I think he could tell you he's on pace to score 52 tonight if he keeps this up. 13 points every quarter. We still got a minute to go in this quarter. Make it 15 points. He's on pace for how much, Ben? 60. That's right. That was a great assist on that one as well. And now a steal by Ferguson, although good hustle by Rivera to get it back. And they're going to end up getting a foul on, I don't know if it's Fisher or Ferguson. It is Fisher. Luke Fisher. So that'll be the first foul on Luke.
Second team foul for the Titans.
Third team foul for the Titans.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, I forgot about the second one.
Yeah. No, we're on it. So 47 seconds to go. Titans on pace to score 100, or technically more since this quarter's not over. Fisher on pace to score 60. I don't think either one of those will happen, but it's a heck of a first quarter and a great way to start prep league play. And Trey Ferguson's going to get caught there for putting two hands on the ball handler. That's automatic foul. You can't put two hands on him. He didn't like the call, but that's where that football physicality backfires, because it was just a touch foul. But you can't be doing that, especially right in front of the official.
Yeah.
So 25-11 as we head down to about 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. This time Ferguson gets the steal. Luke Fisher finally missed. Mason Patrick's rebound is blocked. That's a couple shots we've seen blocked by Draylon Creasy for FUMA. And, now Trey, that's a foul. I mean, I think anybody around Titan Nation knows I love Trey Ferguson. Dude is a competitor, a warrior, a winner, but that's a foul.
Yeah.
I mean, he just reached in, got no ball, all man, and that's two quick ones on Trey in this last minute of quarter number one.
And you're going to see him come out, Alex Chaikin coming back in.
Yeah, good contest by Devion Brown. Carter Shuma did not want to bring it up. 10 seconds to go. Titans should get a last shot here. Luke Fisher, that was a tough three. He's going to get one more crack at it. This one also no good. But great quarter for the Titans. 25-11 the score. Luke Fisher, 15 first quarter points to lead the way. And we're going to try something in our 2 years of basketball broadcasts that we have not done before. We're going to try and give you a little bit different announcing team each quarter. So first quarter it was Ryan Lloyd and I. And the second quarter, Ben Schneider is going to take the mic from Ryan. And third quarter, I'm going to take a break and, I'm going to produce, which they are doing as well. It's not really a break. But Ben and Ryan will call the third quarter. And then probably Ryan and I will wrap up the fourth quarter, more than likely. So first quarter thoughts. Ryan, before you hand the mic off to Ben, what did you see in that first quarter?
Just an aggressive team led by Luke, putting up 15 points, draining threes, just clinical play. And, there's not really much you can say. I just think the Titans they're focused. I was slightly worried that they'd come out too overconfident, but I don't think that's been the case, and I'm glad it's happening. Yeah,
I couldn't agree with you more. I was also concerned that they'd be flat with a small crowd Tuesday night, particularly with Benedictine tomorrow and St. Chris to come on Friday. Those are games you might look ahead to. But I thought they played great, attacked the zone really well. Looked like you said they've been working on that in practice and got great looks against the zone. So, Ben's first time on the mic, right?
Yes.
All right, welcome. Ben Schneider, right? That's how you say it, who won a game tonight. He's on the JV team. They got a big 71-25 win earlier this evening. Ben, how many points and rebounds did you have?
8 points and 5 rebounds.
Solid.
Yes.
It's a good performance. Devion Brown all the way, and the finish, the right hand extends the lead to 16.
Before the game, I mentioned how I wanted to see Davion have a big game, and he looks to be on track to.
Yeah, he had the and one, he had that layup. Can't remember if he scored any others, but he's definitely assisted a couple, and he's just so strong. It's kind of shocking that he's a freshman who just recently turned 15 years old. He's also as good as he is offensively, probably even better defensively. That three-pointer rims out. Talik Montgomery with the rebound. I think this is the first action he's seen as he starts the second quarter. And good take by Talik, and he finishes. We also have Andrew Jones in for the first time this evening, the sophomore, number 23. Oh, nice job there to keep the dribble alive. Isaac Rivera. I don't know, Ben and Ryan, you guys might be too young to know about the Harlem Globetrotters, although they still tour, I think. But that's like a thing they used to do, is get on the ground and dribble around.
Yeah.
But Isaac Rivera, that was impressive. He slipped, lost his footing, but kept the dribble and ends up getting fouled. It's going to be 1-1, the bonus for Fork Union. That foul, they didn't put it on the scoreboard. Who was that foul on?
I believe it was on Alex Chaikin, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, if it is Alex, I think that's his second. Great take again by Devion. And it was also a great defensive rebound there by Mason Patrick on the missed free throw.
Just barreling over defenders when he goes in.
Yeah, he is so strong. Good job by Talik to contest. And again, Andrew Jones with a strong rebound. And Chaikin to Brown for three. And now he is in double figures. Two guys in double figures less than 10 minutes into the game. So fantastic first 10 for the Titans here. Mason Patrick with another rebound. Ahead to Devion Brown.
Oh.
He's fouled. Went down pretty hard, but I think he's going to be okay. Good pass by Mason. Hit him right in stride. And this first half so far has been awesome. Really impressed with the Titans, looking sharp at both ends. And Fork Union, like we said, I mean, they're 3-2. Ryan mentioned probably their schedule hasn't been as challenging as what the Titans have played, and they're probably a little rusty. I mentioned they haven't played in over 3 weeks. It's always tough for these boarding schools coming back in January when they've been gone for a while.
Yeah. As I'm sure everyone watching knows, the Titans didn't have the best season last year, but we got a lot of transfers in, and that's really helped our program a lot.
Absolutely. And also the returning guys, especially Luke Fisher, Alex Chaikin, Leland Coleman, have all improved their games.
Absolutely.
In different ways. And then you add transfers or just newcomers as well, just like to the 9th grade class, even like Devion. Trey Cole's in for the first time tonight. And Andrew Jones, Mason Patrick, Talik Montgomery, and you got a really nice mix of returning talent and newcomers.
Yeah.
These guys look hungry tonight. One thing that's been tough for FUMA, they've shot a lot of threes but have not gotten them to go down yet. There's a three that also does not go down. Great effort by Andrew Jones, but could not quite secure that rebound.
Something that you touched on, Mr. Hamlin, was the improvement of the returning guys, and I think it was kind of interesting because Alex really improved in going to the lane, and that was kind of all Luke Fisher could do last year. His three-point shooting has just improved so much.
Yeah, those two are, I don't want to say the two biggest gym rats on the team because a lot of these guys, devote a lot of time to their craft, but nobody works harder than Luke and Alex on their game. I see them up here all the time, late at night, early on weekends when they could be sleeping in, and that's what it takes. Leland Coleman, who just keeps getting better and shows off some skills there, although thought he maybe got fouled or probably should have tried to dunk it which we know he's more than capable of doing. Good minutes by Talik. He played these first 3:05 of the second quarter, and I thought he did a really nice job at both ends. Talik, Junior, he is new to Trinity this year and new to the Richmond area as he moved here from Philadelphia along with his brother, who believes on the JV team, right?
Yes, he is. Alex Chaikin is not going to miss that open look many times.
Great point. Yeah, I thought for sure he'd make it, but he makes up for it with a steal defensively. And good pass by Alex. And the finish by Leland. Thought it could have maybe been an and one, but Alex deserved an assist there for that excellent pass, and Leland helped him finish. Good finish there at the other end. Jordan Anderson, the senior, I believe that's the first Blue Devil points of the second quarter.
Yeah, it's been a great quarter for the Titans all around.
Yeah, I believe a 12-0 run to start the quarter. Luke Fisher.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
The between the legs backwards dribble to the left-handed scoop layup. And we talk about the time he puts in the gym, and that's what it takes to make a move like that. And now Luke tried to secure the defensive rebound, had it knocked away, but it'll stay Trinity ball. Colin Edsel getting his first minutes of the night.
Anybody that plays Luke Fisher in the gym or just one-on-one knows how hard it is to stay in front of him. So
Yes. He
he's
has
really gotten a lot better.
every trick in the book, every move. And like you said, he's really improved his outside shooting. And an illegal screen, I believe, on Colin Edsel. He'd been in for all of 2 seconds before getting his name in the scorebook with his first foul, 8th team foul. Although they're not going to shoot a 1-and-1 because you don't shoot on an offensive foul. So it'll just be FUMA ball.
It was good to see Leland get his scoring started because last game at Catholic he had a bit of a rough one. It was a very tense student setting.
Hostile environment, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched the stream down at Catholic, and that was – we didn't play well. Catholic was very good, and their students were – let's just say they got away with a lot more than our kids would be allowed to.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff they were saying, but it's their school. That's their business. But it definitely did seem to kind of get in the heads of the Titans, and they're a super talented team anyway. I think Catholic's 13-2 right now. And the first state rankings actually should come out any minute, and I am really curious to see if Trinity is ranked. I'm on that committee, and I actually put together the report for Division I. That's how I know all these teams' records. But I think the Titans will be right borderline top 10 with that 7-3 record. But there's a lot of great teams in this state at the Vista Division I level. As Trey Coles draws the foul, not shooting yet in the bonus for the Titans. And, sorry to interrupt, Ben, but just to finish that thought on the rankings. So number 1 for sure in the state for Vista D1 will be Paul VI. They're actually number 2 in the nation. 15-1, playing an incredible national schedule, and certainly they're big favorites for a state title. Another illegal screen call. This time it's Leland Coleman. 2 illegal screens in, 3 possessions? You don't see that very often as Leland pleads his case. But like I said, that's Aaron Lewis. Yeah. He's about as good as it gets for an official, so I don't think you're going to change his mind.
We see number 3, Trey Coles, on the floor, and he's one of the transfers, but he already hasn't been scoring at the volume that a lot of people hoped he would be, but his playmaking and just being a floor general has been invaluable to Trinity.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ben. I know Trey was playing really well in the preseason and the scrimmages, and then he got sick and missed the Travis tournament, and I think that set him back a little bit, but good to see him back healthy now. We see that playmaking that you're talking about. Good block, though.
Maybe
and a missed layup. Great hustle by Luke Fisher. And it's just up and down. And little bit of a rough stretch there for Leland with the shot getting blocked and then the turnover, and he's going to take a seat for a second. A little frustrated, understandably, but yeah, I was going to say, so in November when there were a couple of scrimmages, I think scrimmaged Glen Allen and I'm trying to remember who else, Freeman.
Yeah.
I know Coach Burston felt like that Trey Coles played better than anybody.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just really excited. And then, him getting sick was unfortunate timing. And it's been good, though. I think he's played this entire second quarter, and you see how comfortable he is with the ball, great passes, and getting guys involved. So that's going to be I believe it was a held ball possession error. We'll keep it with FUMA.
Rodney Archer is checking in for the Titans. Number
Yes.
14.
So this is how you know there's not a big crowd tonight, because when Rodney checks in, usually that is a cause for celebration. Mason Patrick rebound, coast to coast, finishes with the left hand. Great job by Mason Patrick, the sophomore, coast to coast. And yeah, at this point, most of the Titans have been in. I think Cameron Lindo and A.K. Key, the only guys not to get in.
Wow.
Trey Coles, that is a difficult call there. It looked like a total flop. Especially, that's the same official that right in front of him earlier, Leland took what I thought was a good charge. But, I mean, refs haven't really been much of a factor. 25-point game. It's the third straight offensive foul on the Titans, though. Or I should say the last 3 Trinity fouls have all been offensive with the 2 illegal screens. And then now the charge.
Great defense by Trey Ferguson there.
Yeah, Trey Ferguson putting that pressure on the ball handler. It's a 3, and this one, it's actually a long 2. So I think FUMA still has yet to hit a 3. That was Ashton King, the lefty. Speaking of lefties, Rodney Archer did not get it to go. And now same official who's not been cutting us any breaks is going to say that is FUMA ball, even though I saw their guy have the ball while he stood out of bounds. But
he's got to keep the game interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And I need to be careful. I don't want to get fined. We know sometimes when it's a little lopsided, the close calls go to the team that's behind. I got no problem with it. There's another call that goes FUMA's way. They're going to get 2 free throws as Rodney Archer got a little lazy and got the reaching foul there. And I think the key, I'll just say this now since I will not be on the mic in the third quarter, but for me, a key in the third quarter is just don't get sloppy. These guys look so good for the first quarter and a half, but the last 3 or 4 minutes, a lot of turnovers, offensive fouls. That's a lazy reaching foul, and you risk giving away free points, as we do now see Cameron Lindo in for his first action with 22 seconds to go in the half. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in the third quarter, is that consistent ball movement, sharing the ball, and defending the right way, because you don't want to get in bad habits, particularly with a huge game tomorrow night at Benedictine, and then a huge game Friday with St. Christopher's. I mean, you got to be playing your A game to win those rivalry games for sure. All right, Titans should get the last shot. Go ahead, Ben.
Absolutely. I think it's a great time to also work on those plays that they're going to be using, and for the guys who aren't going to get many minutes in those big games to try and earn some.
Yeah, for sure. And, yeah, we see really, I guess, just one starter in now, which is Mason Patrick. Mason is a guy, I love the way he plays hard, he plays smart, physical, he defends. I didn't think that was the smartest shot by him, just in the standpoint with this amount of time left, you want to make sure you get the last shot. So him shooting a reverse kind of spinning layup when there was still about 11 or 12 seconds left. Trinity got fortunate that time they do get the out-of-bounds call, but if that call had gone the other way or been over the back on Colin Edsel, which it debatably could have been, FUMA would be shooting free throws right now. So in my estimation, right now you have a 22-point lead and the ball. Worst case scenario, you want to go into the half with a 22-point lead. But let's make it a 24-point lead. It's a beautiful inbounds play drawn up there by Coach Blazer. And Colin Etzel gets in the scorebook. Three-pointer at the buzzer, no good. So, great first half for the Titans. 43-19 your halftime score. In a minute, we'll take a break. But before we do, Ben, just your impressions of quarter number 2.
I think it was great. The Titans really came out swinging in the first half. Sorry, the first quarter they really got out to a good start, but in the second quarter they never let up and just kept their foot on their throat and really handled business there.
Yeah, and then we don't have official stats. I had a stat guy lined up for tonight, but then he came at the end of school and said he wasn't feeling great. But Luke Fisher has at least 17, and I think he sat out about the last 5 minutes of the half. So impressive for him. And then Devion Brown, at least 10 for him. Chaikin also in double digits. So Chaikin's hit 2 threes, 2 free throws, at least 8. Ryan's telling me he thinks 10. So those 3 leading the way. And really what was a beautiful first half to start off Prep League play.
Final thing before we leave you off at half, I think Luke Fisher really has been a guy that he's been very underrated within his career at Trinity, but this season could really be a breakout year for him. He hasn't been recruited highly, but I think a lot of schools would be missing out if they didn't take him.
Well, I love me some Luke Fisher. Plays so hard. He's, like I said before, the ultimate gym rat. Scores at all 3 levels, handles the ball well. So, no, I big fan of his. And, yeah, wherever, if he is able to play at the next level, I guarantee whatever coach has a chance to work with him will not regret that. And you saw this first half what he's capable of doing. And just was trying to see if these other 2 Prep League games have any scores yet. I think Woodbury St. Chris doesn't look like it's started. And not sure about Stab Collegiate, but that's a big one as well. But tell you what, let's take about a 5-minute break here at halftime, see if I can find out those scores. And then Ryan and Ben will be on the call in the third quarter. Stick around.
Alrighty, we are back from halftime. The Titans currently have a 43-19 lead. Most of the Titan subs have been put it in, and let's hope, while they are seemingly on autopilot, let's hope it just can coast out the rest of the game. Any
Absolutely.
thoughts, Ben?
Absolutely. I think it's just important to stay locked in because in a blowout game like this, it's easy to get complacent.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to keep up your intensity.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And one thing I wanted to look at is pretty similar in terms of the rosters, in terms of the grades. I think Stab has all but they have all but their entire team is seniors, except for 4 players and just 1 sophomore. Whereas you look at Trinity and you have Davion Brown as a freshman. Titans making a quick bucket, but more on that point, the Titans have 3 underclassmen, and building. While some of those underclassmen might not play as much, it just being on the team, practice just gets you, more practice, more training, playing against guys that are better than you. That's what gets you better, and I think Coach Blazers has done a great job with the roster this year.
Absolutely.
Alex Chaikin with a missed 3. Davion Brown with an offensive rebound, and he puts up the layup. Quick little.
It's been an off day for Alex Chaikin. As we talked about a bit in that first half, he's really developed into one of the Trinity's better players, and he is probably the best shooter I've seen in person.
Mm-hmm.
So he won't miss many of those ever.
Yeah. Although I will say, if you do have an off game, I think tonight, as we've seen, is going to be the night to do it.
Yeah,
Titans
absolutely.
with a 47-22 lead.
Yeah, that's a great point. Get it off now before Benedictine and St. Chris.
For sure. As a reminder, we do play Benedictine away tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I'm not sure if they'll be streaming that game, but we will be streaming the game Friday night here versus St. Chris. Luke Fisher for 3 bounces off, no good. Fork Union with the rebound. That's Isaac Rivera. Davion Brown will get called for a foul. So, Ben, I know you're on the JV team, and you guys won pretty handily against Fork Union's JV team, but is there anything that you're seeing tactics-wise or about, plans and how they attack the game that is similar between the JV and the varsity that obviously you guys exploited and the Titan varsity team is also exploiting?
I mean, I think their whole offense is pretty ISO heavy. Mm-hmm. Something that Trinity does really well is draw up a bunch of plays, and that's something that Coach Blazer is best known for. But in this is kind of just setting screens and then seeing what the ball handler can create out of it. So it's been very similar between those two. And don't get me wrong, FUMA has a lot of talent, but I don't think that's really a winning recipe as we've seen today.
For sure. Titans with a 25-point lead with 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Yeah. They already had. Yeah, they had 1. FUMA taking its second timeout of the game. Titans in a zone coverage, something I don't think we've seen all year, at least not at home. So I know
it's not typical for Coach Blazer. He doesn't normally approve of zone coverages.
Leland Cohen with a great offensive rebound and then a putback for another 2 points. I think Blazer, with a what is this, 25-point lead still. This is where you try out new things.
Absolutely.
Practice is great to try out things, but there's an element of competitiveness and drive that you don't have in practice that you do have in a game. So
that's a great point.
A great place to try out. Alex Chaikin with a great steal. And Leland Coleman will take the ball up.
Our now producer, Mr. Hamlin, was gesturing for him to throw it up to Davion Brown, which is a very good point, honestly.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be Titan ball on the inbound. Not sure the call, but it's going to go out to Trey Coles for a 3, and it's slightly off. FUMA with the rebound. And now, great three-pointer by Ashton King, senior and a Richmond native. Leland Coleman for 3 now, and slightly off. Titans shooting, at least from the three-point line, maybe not quite what it was in the first half, but Leland Coleman with a huge block. FUMA does get the rebound.
Leland Coleman may have had an off night at Catholic, but don't get anything twisted. He's definitely one of the best, our best player, I would say. And
excellent pass by him, all the way down to Alex Chaikin, who passes it. Leland Coleman with the rebound and the great layup. That's 2 rebounds and then layups that Leland Cole had in the past minute, and both have been just fantastic, completely clinical, and his improvement, I know we've mentioned it several times over the past year, has just been nothing short of amazing. And I think, slightly Davon rebound, misses the first one, gets his own rebound, and then puts back up the layup to allow the Titans to jump to 53 points. Fork Union's currently sitting at 27.
And that's a lot of what he does, just never gives up on plays and stays aggressive.
Titans, I think back back to a man, so the point earlier that we made about trying out the zone.
Yeah.
Definitely just getting a feel for it. And that's gonna good point by Fork Union. Timeout by Trinity. Looks like they're trying to clear up some confusion.
Coach Blazer is definitely not getting complacent. He wants it to the Trinity to finish out the game well.
For sure. And I don't really blame him. The Titans recently last week had 2 losses that the last one was pretty definitive loss, but the first one I definitely think Coach Blazer definitely felt they could have won that one.
Absolutely.
He definitely wants to put up a strong performance to send a message to all the teams, and to Benedictine tomorrow, and then for St. Chris on Friday, that hey, we had 2 tough losses, but we come out and we hopefully beat this team, and we're gonna be able to move forward with that.
That's a great point. And during halftime, we were looking at the rankings that came out, and Trinity was on the rankings, but I believe they were very towards the bottom. I think
very
14th
bottom.
or 15th. Is that right?
I think they were 10th.
10th.
Yeah, 10th.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. This rankings go from 1 to 10, and then so
they were ranked though, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. A couple notables. I know St. Christopher's was ranked 8th, so that matchup will again be on Friday.
That will be an entertaining one.
For
I
sure.
would suggest tuning into that one.
Anytime these 2 schools get together, no matter the sport, it's going to be a good game.
Good pass by Trey Ferguson.
And Alex Chaikin getting a layup, bring him back on the scoring sheet. And it looks like Carter Shuma, Talik Montgomery, and Trey Ferguson check back into the game. Missed layup by Fork Union, and Leland's going to take the ball up the court. It's going to go out to Ferguson, who passes it to Chaikin for 3, and it's just off the mark. Leland Cullen got the rebound, but it looks like it was tipped out of his hands, so it's still going to be Trinity ball.
Yeah, Trey Ferguson is not a natural basketball player. He really excels at football, but his basketball sense and IQ is still very high.
Out to Chaikin. He's going to look to draw space. Shuma setting a screen out to Talik Montgomery, who will lay it off to Trey Ferguson. Pass to Alex Chaikin. Shot clock dwindling. They're going to have to get one off quick.
Got bailed out with a foul there. Yeah. That's good.
Trinity again with the ball. We've been in Trinity's offensive side for the past minute and a half or so. And as I say that, we give up possession, but back to that point, everybody said Coach Blazer not letting off the gas, and
No,
definitely wants to keep scoring. Alex Shaken, wide open three-pointer.
There we go.
Absolutely drained. Shaken, you're not going to see him miss many of those. He's a great shooter, both in traffic and when you give him that much space, you're asking to get punished, and Fork Union does. In fact, now they're going to take their own three-pointer off again. Ben, correct me if I'm wrong. Fork Union's shot, it's got to be at least 15 threes at this point. Have they made one?
They made one, but
They've made
not
one?
a very high percentage. Yeah.
So, and I think that's credit to the Titan defense, but especially, I want to highlight Leland Coleman. He's 6'7", I believe. Leland 6'7". Carter Shuma, while not as tall as Leland, is a bit beefier. And oh my!
There it is.
Speaking of where that 6'7" frame might come in handy, Leland Coleman with a thunderous dunk to put the Titans at 62 points with a minute left in the third quarter. 3 layups missed by Fork Union, and they'll finally put it in the bucket for 2 points. Titans currently up by just up by 30 points. It looks like Rodney Archer and Mason Patrick are going to check into the game for Talik Montgomery and Alex Chaikin.
Yes, the clock is running at. Oh, sorry about that. I don't think it was supposed to be. I think there was an error, but.
Looks maybe some confusion.
Yeah.
The clock definitely should have stopped. I think our clock is pretty where it should be, but I'm not really sure they're gonna change it on the scoreboard here. But it probably really doesn't matter that much when you're up by 30. Trainee Ferguson, Rodney shot blocked, but rebound by Talik Montgomery. He draws a foul. And the clock again running off a foul.
I think it may just be because of the lead, but.
And it looks like the game's been put on a running clock. We're not exactly sure why, but it just stopped.
My guess is that if it's over a 30-point margin, maybe they do that, but then now they've stopped it. So I don't know how they.
Folks, we're not sure what the situation with the clock. The scoreboard in the gym right now is at 1 second, and it looks like it's about to expire, and it is. So that's going to be the end of the third quarter. The Titans with a 30-point lead. And, just, Ben, I want to say, you guys won by a large margin. The Titans probably going to cruise to a very, I don't want to say easy victory, but definitely a handling win. So why do you think there's something about this team in particular that allows them to come together and behind Coach Blazer, who obviously wants to score, and these guys want to, listen to him, respect him, and put up that large mark going into the 2 late games later this week, getting some confidence? How important is that confidence when you go and play your rivals?
Oh, it's incredibly important. And I think a lot of it comes from the winning culture that Trinity's built this year especially has come from everybody buying into Coach Blazer's system. Last year there was a lot of pushback against it just because he does run a lot less of a free-flowing offense. He loves to drop his plays, which work a lot of the time, but it's not always easy for guys to buy into that. So I think they've been doing a great job of buying into those, and we're seeing the results right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll pass it on to Coach Hamlin for the fourth quarter.
I like being on the mic better than.
Yeah, it looks like Rick Hamlin, class of '97, is gonna get back on the mic. We had to teach the old man how to use the internet and be our producer, which went pretty well.
That was producing my first time producing, but mostly it was okay. But yeah, the clock thing, I didn't quite understand why they
Nobody
kept running
knew what was
it,
going
but
on there.
my guess is I have seen occasionally when the margin is like over 30 points and both teams agree, then they will do a running clock. But usually most coaches don't want to do that because they want to play it out. But I can also see, it's been a rough night for Fork Union. Maybe they just want to kind of lick their wounds and get out of here and end this as quickly as possible. So 1 quarter to go. Our big focus at halftime on the broadcast was let's hope these guys don't get sloppy in the third quarter. And I think it was a pretty good third quarter. Extended the lead a little bit. Leland Coleman, probably his best play of the night so far. And we head into quarter number 4 with a 30-point lead for the Titans in this Prep League opener. We've got all the starters resting now. A.K. Key in for the first time. Cameron Lindo got a little bit of action in the second quarter, but he's back out there along with Rodney Archer. Carter Schuma as A.K. gets that rebound, and Talik Montgomery. So chance for Talik to run some point guard. And that left-handed shot was no good, and Fork Union rebound by Dylan Regasana out of Rwanda. AK with a steal. He's out in the open court. Good block there by Laquan Ullman, and the clock is running. So obviously it would normally be stopped on a dead ball, but this fourth quarter might go by pretty quickly, I would gather.
I have to imagine. I think you mentioned about Fork Union want to, lick its wounds. I'm sure they have a long bus ride home that they'd want to get to at this point. But from Coach Blazer's perspective, while you don't have your starters in, you still want to keep the team healthy. So avoiding an injury, the less time you have on the court, the less likely you are to have an injury. And
yeah, for sure. Plus with big one at Benedictine tomorrow night, with these guys as fresh as possible. So. Yeah, as far as I would be concerned, I would basically tell my starters, like, you're done for the night, and now it's your turn to cheer on these guys who don't always get as much playing time the way they do for you. AK for 3, no good.
Great.
Somehow that's not a double dribble. Things are getting a little sloppy, as they tend to in a 30-point game. Rodney is blocked. I think these refs have also decided they're not going to blow the whistle a whole lot. Oh, no, never mind. Right on cue.
Commentators jinx.
Yes, classic announcers jinx indeed. But I thought there were about 4 other fouls that were more obvious than that one that went uncalled. But yeah, we see that clock running. Makes Ben's job a little easier back on the producer side of the desk, and it's great to have 2 students announce that third quarter. You guys did a great job.
Thank you. Cameron Lindo knocking down the first free throw.
Yeah, good to see Cameron Lindo get on the score sheet as he makes that first free throw. Just the 4th team foul on FUMA, and Trinity only with 1 team foul here in the second half, which is, they've done a good job defensively without fouling, so that's good to see. Colin Edsel saves out to Trey Coles, who just checked back in. Good pass by Trey Coles. 3 rolls in and out. Colin Edsel with another rebound. Good pass by Cameron Lindo. Colin's shot is blocked. A couple guys fall.
It's just typical 30-point.
Yeah, this is all a little sloppy. Cameron with a steal.
And it's going to be Titan ball?
Yeah, he didn't even signal which way. The refs are just about done with this thing, but it is white ball, Titan ball. So, yeah, just looking ahead, because these last 4.5 minutes are going to fly by. Tomorrow, Trinity plays at Benedictine. Benedictine is off to a pretty good start this year. I think they're 9-7. So winning record, but the bottom line, and nice finish there by Colin Edsel, and not to be not to be cliche, but I mean, as someone, in my case, who was part of Trinity basketball program for 25 years as a player and coach, the Benedictine game is as big as it gets. So I was going to say the cliche of you throw the records out, but it's kind of true when those two teams play. Is we see Rodney Archer nail a three. It's going to be a war over there tomorrow night.
For sure. It always is.
It's going to be, I'm sure, a great atmosphere. That rivalry is always heated, and, of course, in light of the football championship, probably even more so. So they're going to be excited to see the blue and green of the Titans show up and in their beautiful new facility over there at the Abbey. So really excited for that one tomorrow. Any Trinity students who might be watching, I'm almost positive, going to be a admission charge, not free, as Trey Coles gets in on the act and he hits a three. Coach Blazer calls a timeout. I think he just wants to get a couple subs in, or really just the one sub of Andrew Jones. And clock still, even with the timeout, they're running it. One thing one of my old coaching buddies always said, military schools never quit. So
yeah,
Fork Union, they're still playing hard out there, even though that was not a great pass. And, we see they've gone deep into their bench. They didn't sub much in the first half. So got some guys out there for the Devils who don't get a whole lot of playing time. And some sloppiness with that. But, yeah, so tomorrow, in my estimation, Trinity Benedictine is the best rivalry in Richmond. And then you follow that up on Friday with St. Chris here, probably our two biggest rivals we have back-to-back. And then the other third big rival, Collegiate, is next week. So this thing's about to get real interesting for these guys, and just hope they can play the way they have tonight. Shared the ball well, defended well. Got a little sloppy late second quarter, and certainly it's been a little sloppy in the fourth as it's been deeper into the bench. Andrew Jones, coast to coast, draws a foul. Clock still going to run, and by the time Andrew Jones shoots these free throws, we're going to probably be less than a minute and a half to go. Even our graphic that we have says 2 minutes, but we're really at about 1:40 now. So there's not a whole lot left to say, but just this week is a big one for these guys. Last year played really well at Benedictine, ended up falling just short. I think we led going to the fourth quarter. But this Trinity team is a much stronger one than last year, so really hoping they bring their A game tomorrow night to the Cadets. Andrew Jones hits the second. It's that lead up to 39.
Is that – I'm sorry, I'm not exactly sure. Benedictine has a new gym that they've played in. Would this be the second time that we played them there?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so the old Rut Court downtown where they played forever. Even after they moved the school to the Abbey, they still played in the old gym, which is – that gym dates back to the 1930s. It's a almost 100-year-old legendary gym, as we get a nice bucket there. Almost as old as me, right, Ryan? Even older than me, believe it or not. I even thought it was old when I played there in high school. So, but yeah, they've got a brand new, really nice gym there at the Abbey where the school is. As FUMA tries to cut into that lead, and Coach Blazer calling for them to just run this clock out. So, yeah, Titan Nation, show up tomorrow at Benedictine, bring your $7, and then Friday it'll be free here at Estes Athletic Center for the second Prep League game of the season with the Saints of St. Christopher's. Looking forward to that one, and we'll have the broadcast for that. So
we will.
Can't wait for Friday. Final score here is going to be Trinity Episcopal 74, Fork Union 33. Thanks to Ben Snyder. Thank you, Ryan Lloyd. Any last thoughts from you, Ryan?
No, not particularly. I think the team expected to win this pretty handedly, and they did. Come in, do your job,
took care of business.
Get out of here.
No muss, no fuss. Get in and out. 40-point win. 1-0 in the Prep League. Tougher tests to come. And we'll look forward to bringing you Friday's game, which will be our next TESPN broadcast. That's actually a doubleheader. I do want to mention girls play St. Catherine's at 5:30. We'll be on the air for that one. And then boys versus St. Christopher's at 7. So check us out on Friday night. Also, for TESPN fans, put a new podcast out today. Interviewed Patrick Pouzon, who just set a school record in the 55 free in swimming. So check out our interview with Patrick. If you found this broadcast, you know how to get to our YouTube page, and you can find our interview with Patrick there.
Yep.
Thanks, fellas. It was fun. Go Titans.
See you guys
See you
on
next
Friday.
time.